Do you ever notice your hands feel cold even when everyone else is warm, or your legs feel heavy like you are walking through mud? Most people think this is just what happens when you get older, but I want to tell you something important. What you are feeling is actually your body sending you a signal, like a warning light on your car dashboard. Your blood is not flowing the way it used to, and that affects everything from your energy to how clearly you can think. The good news is that fixing this is much simpler than you might imagine. Today I'm going to show you exactly what is happening inside your body using a simple garden hose example, and then I will share the only two vitamins you really need to help your blood move better again. I am Dr. Blake, and I want to help you understand something that many people over 60 feel but cannot explain. You wake up in the morning and your legs feel heavy. You try to walk to the kitchen, and it is like your body is moving through thick mud. Your hands feel cold, even when you are inside. You wonder if this is just what getting older means. Let me tell you something important. This is not just age. What you are feeling is often a sign that your blood is not flowing the way it should. Think of your blood flow like water running through a garden hose. When the hose is soft and clean, water shoots out strong and reaches every corner of the yard. But when the hose gets stiff or clogged, the water barely trickles out. It does not reach the far plants. Your body works the same way. When blood flow slows down, your legs do not get enough fuel. Your hands do not get enough warmth. Your brain does not get enough energy. This is real. This is not in your head. And the good news is that we can do something about it. What you feel matters, and today, I'm going to show you how to help your body feel alive again. You do not need fancy treatments or scary medicines. You just need to understand how your body works and give it two simple things that can make all the difference. Let me walk you through this step by step, just like we are sitting at my kitchen table together. I promise to keep it simple and clear. Now let me tell you what happens when your blood flow slows down even more. You rest all night, but you wake up tired. You sit down to relax, but your muscles still ache. You try to think clearly, but your brain feels like it is wrapped in a fog. You might feel cold when everyone else is warm. Your feet might tingle or feel numb. This is frustrating because you are doing everything right, but your body is not cooperating. Here is what is happening inside. Your blood is like water flowing through that garden hose I mentioned. But now imagine that hose only drips instead of sprays. The water comes out so slowly that only a few drops reach the plants at the end. Those plants start to wilt. They turn yellow. They look tired and weak. Your muscles and brain are like those plants. They need fresh blood, bringing them oxygen and food every single minute. When blood only drips through, your muscles do not get enough fuel to feel strong. Your brain does not get enough oxygen to think clearly. Your skin does not get enough warmth to feel comfortable. This is why you feel weak even after resting. This is why your thinking feels fuzzy even after sleeping. The problem is not you. The problem is that your blood is not delivering what your body needs. And when one part of your body does not get enough blood, you feel it everywhere. Your energy drops. Your warmth fades. Your sharpness dulls. But here is the good part. Once you understand what is happening, you can fix it. You do not need to accept feeling this way. You just need to help your blood flow better. Let me explain why blood flow touches absolutely every part of your body. Your blood is like a delivery truck that brings two critical things to every single cell in your body. First, it brings oxygen, which is like the air your cells breathe. Second, it brings nutrients, which is the food your cells eat. Without these deliveries, your cells cannot do their jobs. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a beautiful garden, and every plant needs water to stay green and healthy. If the water flows strong through the hose, every plant gets what it needs. The roses bloom, the grass stays thick, the vegetables grow. But if the hose gets blocked or kinked, the water stops reaching the plants at the far end. Those plants start to droop, they lose their color, they stop growing. Your body is that garden, your blood is the water, your cells are the plants. When your blood hose works well, every part of you feels alive. Your legs have energy to walk, your hands stay warm, your brain thinks clearly, your heart beats strong. But when the hose gets stiff or clogged, everything slows down. The cells in your legs do not get enough oxygen, so they feel heavy. The cells in your hands do not get enough warmth, so they feel cold. The cells in your brain do not get enough fuel, so your thoughts feel slow and foggy. This is why blood flow is so important. It is not just about your heart. It is about every single part of you staying alive and working well. Now I want to ask you something. Have you felt cold hands lately? Do your legs feel tired even when you have not done much? Does your brain feel foggy sometimes? If any of this sounds like you, write "I feel this too" in the comments below. I want to know I am talking to the right people. Now let me show you how your blood actually moves through your body. Your blood travels through tubes called blood vessels. I want you to think of these vessels as soft garden hoses that run everywhere inside you. You have big hoses called arteries that carry blood away from your heart. You have smaller hoses called veins that bring blood back to your heart. And you have tiny little hoses called capillaries that reach every cell, like little sprinklers watering a lawn. When these hoses are soft and smooth inside, blood flows through them easily. It is like water rushing through a brand new garden hose with no kinks and no dirt. The water moves fast and reaches every corner of the yard without any problem. Your body feels energized, your hands stay warm, your brain stays sharp. But here's what happens over time. Those blood hoses can get stiff, they can get rough on the inside, they can even get clogged with sticky stuff that slows everything down. Now the blood has to work much harder to push through. It is like trying to spray water through an old cracked hose that has been left out in the sun for years. The rubber is hard. The inside is rough. Maybe there is dirt stuck in there. The water barely comes out, and when it does, it is weak and slow. When your blood hoses get stiff or clogged, your heart has to pump harder to push blood through. But even with all that effort, less blood reaches your legs, your hands, your brain. This is why healthy blood vessels matter so much. They are the highway system that keeps everything moving. When the highway is clear and smooth, traffic flows. When it is rough and blocked, everything slows to a crawl. So what happens to your blood hoses as you get older? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a brand new garden hose. It is soft and flexible. You can bend it easily. The inside is smooth like glass. Water flows through it perfectly. Now imagine leaving that same hose outside in the sun and rain for 20 years. What happens? The rubber gets stiff, it cracks, it loses its flexibility. If you try to bend it, it might break. The inside is no longer smooth. It gets rough and maybe even has mineral buildup from the water. This is exactly what happens to your blood vessels after 60. They are not as soft as they used to be. They lose some of their stretch. The walls get a little thicker. The inside surface gets rougher. And sometimes sticky substances start to build up on the walls, making the opening narrower. This is natural aging. It happens to everyone, but it makes it harder for your blood to flow easily. Your heart pumps, but the blood moves slower because the hoses are stiffer. Less blood reaches your legs, so they feel heavier. Less blood reaches your hands, so they feel colder. Less blood reaches your brain, so your thinking feels slower. This is why so many people over 60 feel tired and cold and foggy. Their blood hoses have aged. But here is the important part. Just because aging happens does not mean we are helpless. We can take care of those hoses. We can help them stay softer and cleaner. We can keep blood flowing better even as we age. And that is what the next chapters are all about. I am going to show you two simple helpers that support your blood hoses and keep the water moving. Now I want to introduce you to the two helpers that keep your blood hoses healthy. Their names are vitamin D and vitamin K2. I know those sound like medical terms, but let me explain them in a way that makes perfect sense. Think of vitamin D as the hose softener. Remember how I said your blood hoses get stiff like old rubber left in the sun? Vitamin D helps keep those hoses flexible and soft. It works on the walls of your blood vessels and helps them relax and stretch. When your hoses stay soft, blood can flow through them much easier. It is like adding oil to stiff leather to make it flexible again. Now think of vitamin K2 as the hose cleaner. Over time, sticky calcium can build up inside your blood hoses, making them narrow and rough. Vitamin K2 takes that calcium and moves it away from your blood vessel walls. It puts the calcium where it belongs, in your bones, not in your hoses. This keeps the inside of your hoses smooth and open so blood can flow freely. Here's the beautiful part. These two vitamins work as a team. Vitamin D keeps the hose soft and flexible. Vitamin K2 keeps the inside clean and clear. Together they help your blood move the way it should. Your legs get more fuel. Your hands get more warmth. Your brain gets more oxygen. You start feeling more alive again. This is not magic. This is simply giving your body two things it needs to maintain healthy blood flow. You do not need 100 different supplements. You do not need complicated formulas. You just need these two helpers working together. And the good news is that getting them is simpler than you think. Now let me explain why most people over 60 do not get enough of these two helpers. First, let us talk about vitamin D. Your body makes vitamin D when sunlight touches your skin. But as we get older, we spend more time indoors. We wear more clothes when we go outside. Our skin does not make vitamin D as easily as it used to. And if you live in a place with long winters or cloudy weather, you get even less sun. This means your body runs low on the hose softener it needs. Without enough vitamin D, your blood vessels stay stiff. The hose does not flex the way it should. Now let us talk about vitamin K2. This vitamin comes from certain foods like egg yolks, cheese, and fermented foods. But most people do not eat these foods very often anymore. We eat more processed food and less natural food, so we miss out on the hose cleaner our body needs. Without enough vitamin K2, calcium builds up in the wrong places. Your blood hoses get rough and narrow on the inside. Here's how I want you to think about it. Imagine you have a garden hose, but you forget to take care of it. You leave it outside without cleaning it. You never oil it or check on it. Over time, it cracks and clogs. The same thing happens to your blood vessels when you do not get enough vitamin D and K2. Your body tries to keep things working, but without these two helpers, the hoses slowly get worse. This is not your fault. Most people have no idea these vitamins matter so much for blood flow. But now you know, and knowing means you can do something about it. So let me ask you this. Does the story about the garden hose and these two helpers make sense to you? If it does, write "the hose story helped me" in the comments. I want to make sure this is clicking for you. Now let me show you the easiest ways to give your body these two helpers. Let us start with vitamin D, the hose softener. The best source is sunlight. When the sun touches your bare skin, your body naturally makes vitamin D. You do not need to sunbathe for hours. Just 15 to 20 minutes of sun on your arms and face a few times a week can make a real difference. If you live somewhere cold or cloudy, or if getting outside is hard for you, you can also get vitamin D from food. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel have it, egg yolks have it, some milk and cereals are fortified with it. You can also take a simple vitamin D supplement if your doctor agrees. Now let us talk about vitamin K2, the hose cleaner. This one comes from specific foods. Egg yolks from chickens that ate well have good amounts. Grass-fed butter and cheese have it. Fermented foods like sauerkraut and a Japanese food called natto have lots of it. Leafy green vegetables like spinach and kale have vitamin K, but that is a different type called K1. You want K2 for cleaning your blood hoses. If these foods are hard to find or you do not eat them often, a K2 supplement can help. Think of feeding your body these vitamins like giving your garden hose the care it needs. If you oil the hose and clean it regularly, it stays flexible and clear. Water flows through it easily. If you feed your blood vessels vitamin D and K2 regularly, they stay soft and clean. Blood flows through them easily. This is not complicated. You do not need to become a nutrition expert. You just need to add a little sunlight and a few good foods to your daily routine. Small steps add up to big improvements in how you feel. Now I want to talk about foods that either help your blood hose or hurt it. Think of your body like a garden again. Some things you add make the plants stronger. Other things you add make the plants weaker. The same goes for your blood flow. Let me start with the helpers. Water is the first one. When you drink enough water, your blood stays thin and moves easily through your hoses. When you do not drink enough, your blood gets thick like syrup and it is harder to push through. Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, helps keep your blood vessel walls soft and healthy. Nuts like almonds and walnuts do the same thing. Vegetables, especially the green leafy ones, give your body nutrients that protect your blood hoses from damage. Berries and other colorful fruits help keep the inside of your hoses smooth and clean. These are the foods that act like hose maintenance. They keep everything flowing well. Now let me talk about the foods that hurt your blood flow. Sugar is the big one. When you eat a lot of sugar, it makes your blood sticky. It damages the walls of your blood vessels and makes them stiff. It is like pouring syrup into your garden hose. Everything slows down and gets messy. Fried foods and foods with bad fats do similar damage. They create gunk that sticks to the inside of your hoses and makes the opening narrower. Too much salt can make your blood pressure go up, which puts stress on your hose walls. I am not telling you to never enjoy these foods. I am just saying that when you eat them all the time, they work against your blood flow. The good news is that you do not have to be perfect. Small swaps make a difference. Drink water instead of soda. Snack on nuts instead of chips. Add more vegetables to your plate. These simple changes help keep your blood hose clean and your blood flowing strong. Let me leave you with one small habit that can keep your blood moving every single day. I call it the 3 simple things. First, get some sunlight. Even 10 minutes outside helps your body make vitamin D. Open a window and let sun touch your face while you drink your morning coffee. Take a short walk around the block. This keeps your hose softener working. Second, eat one food that helps blood flow every day. Maybe it is an egg for breakfast. Maybe it is a handful of nuts as a snack. Maybe it is salmon for dinner once a week. You do not have to overhaul your whole diet. Just add one good thing. This gives your body the hose cleaner it needs. Third, move your body a little bit. Walking is perfect. When you walk, your muscles squeeze your blood vessels gently, which helps push blood through them. It is like turning on the garden hose every day so it does not dry out and crack. If you keep water flowing regularly, the hose stays flexible and clear. If you let it sit unused, it gets stiff and clogged. Your blood vessels work the same way. Daily movement keeps them active and healthy. Here's what I want you to understand. You do not need to do everything perfectly. You do not need expensive treatments or complicated plans. You just need to give your body a little sunlight, a little good food, and a little movement every day. These 3 small things add up to better blood flow. Better blood flow means more energy in your legs, more warmth in your hands, and more clarity in your brain. You will start feeling more like yourself again. So here is my question for you. Can you promise yourself to try just one of these 3 things this week? Maybe you will take a short walk. Maybe you will eat one egg. Maybe you will stand in the sun for 10 minutes. Pick one small thing and start there. If you are ready to try, write "I will try one thing" in the comments. I believe in you, and I know you can do this.